case you were wondering, I still have sleep apnea. So...
I've been up since 4, and I had coffee about 5. And it's 11. And I'm gonna get some more. It's not really gonna do anything, but...
In case you were wondering, I still have sleep apnea. So...
That's not going away, at least until they find a cure. This channel started as a way to talk about sleep apnea and educate people, put together some videos for people like me who have sleep apnea. And I've been making movies since I was in college, and it's been the intersection of, you know, having sleep apnea and making films. So I've kind of veered over towards vlogging a little bit, but the sleep apnea videos have not stopped. I've still got plenty of thoughts about sleep apnea. I still want to help out people who suffer from sleep disorders. I just think it's fun to make sure that you expand, you know, as an artist, and to continue in the various things that interest you. Man. Yeah, so this channel is going to be all those things together. In case you're wondering, in case you're following me, in case you started following me because I talked about sleep apnea and that's something that's important to you. And then I think noticing the clock on the wall, it's around 4 o'clock. A different thing I want to talk about, and the reason I thought of this, talking about sleep apnea just now, is, man, brain fog. I woke up at 4 today, and that was pseudo on purpose. Like, I wanted to get up and edit yesterday's video, and just some days I do that and I feel great. Like, I feel accomplished. I physically feel good. But today I had that feeling, and I'm sure some of you can relate. Like, you wake up and you're like, all right, I'll push through, I'll have the coffee, and then you just never quite hit the stride. Like, you spend all day in the fog. And to me, the decision that's tough to make is, do you push through and like the fog will lift because you'll like be active enough or hydrated enough or whatever? And some days that's true, but some days like today, no amount of coffee, no amount of exercise like was gonna solve it. And sometimes you just gotta like if you can, take a nap. And I'm lucky enough that I was able to do that. 20 minutes, game changer. So to all of you struggling with the brain fog, and I think I mentioned it just now as describing it as like a temporary thing, but I think a lot of you have it every single day. So to all of you struggling with it, I feel you. And yeah, I'm excited to keep putting out content, sleep apnea and otherwise, on this channel. I think what's funny is if you read any marketing video, still waking up from that nap. I think what's funny is if you read any book on marketing, at least lately, and some of these are some of my favorite books, so I'm not knocking them, but if you read them, they talk about you should be focused on one niche, focused on one thing, and that's like where you should start, and you should focus on that thing and nothing else, and just go hard on that thing and focus on that day in and day out. But I think the problem with that is that works for some people, but it does not work for everyone. And I found when I started this this venture of doing like Apnea Hero, creating content and creating t-shirts for the sleep community of people who have sleep apnea, which is a lot of people. It was really fun at first, and it still is, but it was very limiting. And I started to like burn out, and I was like, no, I just need to push through. And what I should have done, and I'm doing now, but I should have done at the time, and this was a few years ago, is I should have expanded out, just like what I'm doing now. Focus on more filmmaking, focus on more content that I think is fun, maybe some acting, things like that. Bringing some of the more weird sides of my personality into this. I didn't do that at the time. I said, no, I need to push through. Any book or advice, the problem with it is you're going to reach the point where the advice no longer applies. And some things that happens pretty quickly, and some things it takes a little longer. I think the advice of sticking to one niche, if it's not working for you, which it wasn't working for me, if it's not working for you, figure out how or what really you are excited about, and continue on that. And don't look at it as a loss. Look at it as just taking a slight bearing right or bearing left on the same path that you're on. And that's how I'm seeing this. I'm going to continue talking about sleep apnea. I'm going to continue making content about that. I'm actually excited to put out some more t-shirts inspired by the struggle and the inspiration of having sleep apnea. But I'm also excited, it's an and, not a but. I'm excited to add, camera gear, focusing on video, storytelling technique, all those things into this. So if you're watching this, I hope you're down to join me for this ride as I expand out and continue on those various tracks together on one channel. Anyways, it's Friday. This is probably the ending of today's episode because I'm gonna enjoy my weekend. And then tomorrow is binge day.